Hello everyone. I hope there was no problem in downloading the Power BI. So let's talk a bit about the interface. I know you want to now work on Power BI. We have been talking a lot about business intelligence and how Power BI is so strong in data visualization and analytics. But just this is the last video where I'll be explaining you a bit about Power BI interface, and then we will get hands-on over it and use the different transformation connections and visualization features. So this is the first screen which we might see after downloading Power BI. So this is a small dialog box which comes in. It tells you want to get data. Get data is nothing but loading data in Power BI. Recent sources. If in case you have worked on Power BI recently, it will show you these sources. These sources are nothing but the files which you might have worked on, or connectors which you might have worked on. When I say connectors, they are nothing but how you connect Power BI through various databases, through SQL or MySQL. You get to sign in, collaborate, and share content. So this is nothing but you can actually sign in, or you may want to skip it. But the sign in only happens with your work or your school account. It cannot happen with your regular account like Outlook or Hotmail or any other of those public domain IDs. Now here, what's new? You can use this feature in case you want to have a look at what's new and what are the various improvements or reliefs which have done over the Power BI. Then we have Power BI blog. I urge you to go and visit this Power BI blog. You can actually find really good visualization. So this is a kind of community, all three of them actually. Tutorials are more of learning Power BI. They are very basic videos. In Power BI blog and forum is where more of it's an entire community of these data visualizers who create really nice analysis and really great visualizations which you can take take inspiration from and can work on it. You can simply click on a cross in case you don't want all this, and we can simply jump to the Power BI, which is something like this. Now this is the report view. There are three core views which you can see here. It's the report view, the data view, and the relationship view. We will be talking about this in detail in this particular video itself, so that you understand the various views and how are these panes and what are these filters and what are these visualizations. So the workflow of Power BI is something like this. So mind you, this is report view, data view, and relationship view. The workflow is not in this direction at all. It is very different. It's first data view, and then you have the relationship view. So you see here you have data, all the data or the tables which you have loaded. This is the relationship view. Here different tables are either you can define the relationship, or Power BI itself have got the abilities to define these relationships. These relationships are also called as schemas. So techies used to call it schema, not used to, they still call it schema only. And this is the last view, which is the report view, wherein you can create your visualizations and you can publish your visualizations so that you can use it. So without further delay, let's go to certain tabs. Let's see the real interface and what are the various features and what are the various ribbons in that. So this is the tool. As we saw, this is the report view, this is the data view, and this is the relationship view. They also call it model because they call it relationship models, and I think model was a shorter word, and that's why they have put it here. So quite smart tool. Let's explore a bit about the data view. So data view is where you will see your data. You will see various features, and you may also get some options to do some changes in your data. So this is a typical data view. You can see your fields, what are various fields here, and here we are. The home itself tells you can get data. So this is the option. You can see multiple sources, and we will be talking about this get data in some time, and not in this video, probably in another 5-6 videos we will be talking about the various data sources that Power BI offers. You can see some simple data sources here. The most widely used, for example, Power BI dataset, Excel. Power BI itself have certain data sets which you can use for practice. Excel server, You can enter your own data as well in case you want to create your own tables. You can do that. Then there are these recent sources that we already spoke about. Now this is a very strong option, transform data. This is an option which we will be using a lot. It takes you to something called as Power Query. Power Query is where you transform your data. When I say transform your data, you actually change the data types and you add columns and you do lots of other things. So we will be going in depth into this Power Query editor because this is absolutely a fantabulous option where you can totally transform your data, which earlier people used to do with lots of Python or C++ codes. Now you can do it with just clicks, and this is the view where you get all these columns and you get even the data types. What data type is it? It's numbers, it's numeric data type, it's float data type, that's why it's showing 1.2. and okay, we don't have any strings here, but mostly it's numeric and float, integers and float here. So in this home tab you can see in case you want to have a new source, in case you want to upload some other data, the recent sources, again very typical column. Data storage settings, we will be talking about this data storage settings in a separate video. Again, we will be talking about the manage parameters as well. Refresh preview, this is when you do certain changes, we will be talking about all these columns. I'll be telling about how to split the columns into two, right, like we do in Excel. Then this is the most powerful thing which we have got in Power BI, detecting data types, transposing, and various other features which are even they have statistical analysis. So these are various features that actually makes Power BI really strong, wherein you can get lots of information about your variables here, and you can get you can do a lot of changes in these variables. This is add column. We will be extensively using this add column feature with conditional columns and all those, so don't worry too much about it. Again, these are what we are going to explore in the coming videos. This is view column, again a very strong feature in Power BI where you can see the column distributions, what are the kind of distributions which you have got in your columns. And column quality, it tells you how many empty columns are there, validate it, and various other features. So we will be talking about this in detail once we will get a hands-on. We will start with the hands-on, and there are certain tools here, diagnostic options here, and we will be, again, as I told you, we will be talking, this is just an introductory video to the interface of Power BI. Now let's catch up with the relationship view. You just see one table here as opposed to the schemas which we actually saw in this particular view. You see, so there are different kind of tables. As I told you, there's only one table right now here, that's why you just see this. As soon as we put a related table here, which may be as per the flight and fare detail, so you can actually join it with features. We have already spoken about it. For example, if you are getting data from purchase department and from sales department, you can actually add build relationship between those tables, so it makes your analysis really easy. Let's see the report view. So this is the main canvas on which you work. It's basically really an artistic canvas, if I'll tell you. It makes your life easier. Just drag and drop and your visualizations will be ready. Power BI is smart enough to find out things in that. For example, if I've taken age and I want to see the distribution of age according to, say, the fare, you can just create these really nice visualizations. You can create dashboards here, and that's what makes this tool so handy. For example, I want to see how's the distribution of fare by class. I'll just drag it up and I'll select a visualization, and it will tell me, okay, this means this seems to be a bit off. That is because we are looking at the sum. Let us look at the average, and here it is. And the best part is that they get automatically connected, these visualizations, when you use them. So this is the filter column here. Filter column is where you can add filters. For example, I have added months at filters. So if I'll just click on one, I can see the filters applying here, and it will tell you the fair by age distribution of first month. First month is, if I'm not wrong, it's January. Okay, first month is February. The indexing in Power BI starts by 0. It doesn't start with 1. For example, January will be 0. If in case you're talking about, say you have 3 years, say 2010, 2011, 2012, and if you'll index it in Power BI, it will start as 0, 1 and 2. 0 will be 2010, 1 will be 2011, and 2 will be 2012. So this is the filter column where you can actually filter your reports, and we will be looking at a more modified version of this filter column. We actually will be adding our filters here in these buttons. This is the visualization. It's very simple to understand and the most powerful column in the entire Power BI structure. It helps you in doing lots of things, not just selecting the visualizations, but actually modifying these visualizations. As you might have seen, I have just changed it from sum to average. You can do it to count and various other features. We will be looking at all these features in detail so you can make your analysis really strong and validated. And these are the fields column. As we saw in the data view as well, there was a fields column. It is same. You can either drag drop or you can select your fields by just clicking on this small box. What are the various tabs or ribbons which we have here? So this is file. This is again a very typical to the structure of other MS Office applications where you can save as, get data, a bit different. The home view is here. Home view is where you can do cut, copy and format painter. This is something which you will find in all these strong Microsoft applications like PowerPoint, Excel and Word. Then we have different kind of data, getting the data columns wherein you can actually get data from various sources, and we have entire video which is dedicated towards just getting the data sets. Excel being the most common one which usually people use for analysis, and I suppose you will also be using. And then this is transform data, which we already saw how to transform your data through Power Query, and what are the various features in this Power Query. So let me move on with this, and we will be talking in detail about this Power Query features. So here's the insert column. These are more of AI features of Power BI. We will be doing a short video on this as well. Power Apps. Power Query, what we opened was one of the Power Apps. We have Power Service, we have Power Editor and various other features in it. And these are very typical columns of any Microsoft Office application, adding a text box, adding a button, adding certain shapes, or in case you want to add images. This is the modeling column. So this helps us define the various new columns or new tables in case we want to add. This is the view column, wherein it is again a very typical of MS Office applications, wherein you can actually select any kind of structure to your dashboard or reports. Page view. This is a very interesting column called as mobile layout. I urge you, if you really want to understand Power BI on mobile and if you want to share your reports on mobile, you can actually see the mobile view. I urge you to download Power BI app for mobile, and you can actually see your reports in mobile view. You just have to click on this view, and you will get a flavor of how your reports are going to look at the mobile. And it's again a very simple drag and drop option itself, and it can help you out a lot if in case you're traveling or doing anything like that. coming back to the normal view, we have a help option here, which is again very typical of Microsoft applications. So if you will see that these options, apart from these filters and visualizations, all these options are quite similar to most of the Microsoft applications. But I told you that transform data and various other things which we will be looking at for the videos are quite strong options, which you will explore very soon. So that's it. I'm excited that we will be starting the transformation and connections of data from the next few videos. So we'll see you there. Thank you very much.